confused. Okay, another person, that's cool. Right, I think we're recording this now. So, okay, really good that everybody's taken the time out today. I really appreciate the time that you're giving to this. So I'm going to be just giving you an overview of an opportunity in a business, a nutrition business, which is really being promoted for anybody that's in the health and wellness and fitness industry. And it's just basically an introduction to an additional revenue stream and to give your clients a bit more and build some long-term relationships. So this isn't going to work, which is just typical because it was working a minute ago. Always the way. Why is that not working? Technology. Resume slideshow. Let's try that. Okay. So who's this opportunity for? Typically, it's to say it's for anybody in the fitness industry. So it could be yoga, Pilates, and martial arts instructors, anybody who's in fitness, and also in as a chiropractor, a physio, basically anyone who's got interest in the fitness, health and wellness industry, and basically wants to help others. So let's just move before. I'm just gonna, sorry about this. Oh, there we go. That's where I need to be. Right. Okay. So why might this be a good fit for you? Well, you're already have an understanding of exercise and nutrition, and you can be fit, but not necessarily fit and healthy. So this is a little bit about getting that combination right. It's also about educating clients. You've already got a client base and perhaps helping them to understand the importance of nutrition, but particularly gut health nutrition. Equally, it's about putting your customers first and giving them more in the services that you already offer and caring for your clients. It also provides the opportunity to have an additional revenue stream alongside the business that you already have, and it really complements the businesses which are in that sort of fitness and wellness sector. And lastly, there are some proven systems that are already in place. This isn't a business that you're going to be starting from, well, it is from scratch, but it's already with a bunch of systems that actually work. It's got some proven records, and it basically works. So before we dive into that, I'm going to introduce myself. So my name is Helen Daniel. My background is that I've run several businesses over the years. The first ones were in the dog grooming business. And I ran three different businesses in different locations. I then worked in the water sports industry for 10 years, not as an instructor, but as the admin and marketing. So I've got a real feel for running a bigger business there. I then went into web design, and I've been in that for the last 13 years, and I've developed a successful business for myself. And now I'm working alongside Ian, who is my husband, and is also a co-director on FQ Fitness. And this is where I've come into this nutrition side of things. And I've also got a big passion to help people grow and businesses grow. And I love watching people get success. And I've been very privileged over the years with my web designing business to see small businesses grow. And I absolutely love that. And I've always been an active individual. Whilst I've not necessarily been in the fitness industry as an instructor, I have always kept fit. So I've done windsurfing, I've done hiking, I've cycled, I've done London to Paris, I've done more hiking, I've done Ben Nevis, Scafell, Snowdon, played badminton competitively, cycle, that's in the Alps. I've also done a triathlon, and I like to cycle. It is one of my big passions. But now I have a new passion, and it's gut health. And it's a really hot topic at the moment. There are just so many articles out there. And if you aren't already aware of the importance of gut health, then the next few slides are going to be an introduction. If you are already aware, then hopefully you'll learn something new, because it's definitely an emerging science. And health should be a priority, especially after the last 18 months where we've had the pandemic. It's not just about your physical health, but it's also about your mental health. Now more than ever is a focus on health. It's not just about being fit, it's more about being fit and healthy. So we're going to have a look at this equation, calories in versus calories out. I'm sure you're aware of that equation. I'm going to ask you to be open-minded about this equation. It's a bit like the BMI scale. One equation doesn't fit all. So in the calories in and calories out, you can eat too much and don't do enough, you'll gain weight. That's the typical calories in, calories out equation. Equally, if you eat less and do more, you should lose weight. If you eat the same and increase activity beyond the normal amount, you should hopefully lose weight. But it's not always true for everyone. I'm sure we all know somebody who can eat loads of biscuits and cake and seemingly never gain an ounce, whilst others just have to look at a donut and gain an extra pound. So I'm going to challenge that by talking about this little study that was done on a little bird called the Garden Warbler. And this bird is quite an incredible little bird. After a few weeks after hatching, it goes on this migration of 4,000 miles. So it goes from its breeding grounds in the northern hemisphere to its wintering grounds in South Africa. Just before it's due to go on that migration, it goes into it just gorges itself on berries to increase its body fat. So the diet up until then has been insects, and then just before it's due to make this migration, it starts to eat berries and increase body fat. In fact, it increases so much weight, it would be the equivalent of a human being at 10 stone eating enough food over a couple of weeks and actually increasing their body weight to 22 stone. So it's a pretty massive amount. And I'll just jump to the next one. So obviously they go off onto their to do their migration. They fly the 4,000 miles, and as you'd expect, after that incredible journey, the bird has lost the weight and is again lean. But what's really incredible about this is that captive warblers go through exactly the same process. Just before their cousins would do the migration, they gorge themselves on berries to become fat, but of course they don't actually migrate, they don't fly anywhere. But after a few weeks, when their wild cousins arrive in the South Africa, they've lost weight. So there's what's going on here. There's definitely a little bit more going on than just calories in and calories out. So I'd like to introduce you to your microbiome. Let me just see if I can close that a bit. That goes, oh, nope, don't want to do that. Don't know how to move that up. So when somebody don't quite how to get rid of that. Okay, we'll have to just go with that as it is. So introducing the microbiome. Basically, your body is full of trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. They live in and on you. They are collectively known as the microbiome. And this phrase, microbiome, was coined in 2001 by a Nobel laureate professor, Dr. Josh Liederberger. And since then, more and more research and studies, sorry, we're on the flight path to Benson as well, so we're getting helicopters. Just let that one go over. So since the early 2000s, 2001, there has just been more and more research and studies going on into the microbiome. The bacteria that are in our gut, the word bacteria is often associated with bad things, but actually we have a lot of bacteria that actually does an awful lot of good. And these bacteria help with our immune system, help with our hormones, and just basically make us healthy if the right balance is there. And it's a truly fascinating subject. So I want to introduce you to the next study, and I'm going to see if I can get rid of this. I don't quite know why this is coming up. Really annoying. I can reduce the size of it I can. Study was okay. This is a study into twins and the gut health. This is quite a famous study, in fact. So we got a lean twin and an obese twin. So basically what they did was that they wanted to sort of see why these two twins, who basically came from exactly the same parents, one was obese and one was lean. So they took some of the microbiome from each of the twins and gave them to germ-free mice. And some mice were given the microbiota from the obese twin, and some were given the microbiota from the germ-free, from the lean twin. And as expected, the mice that were given the lean microbiota stayed lean, and the mice that were from the obese twins became obese. And that was despite the fact that they were fed exactly the same way and they were exercised in the same way. So these were very much controlled, these mice, as to what they could and couldn't do. And as you can see, the mice that received the lean twins microbiota stayed lean, and so the obese twins microbiota became obese. So more studies on twins have continued, and you can check these out at twinsuk.ac.uk. So then what really is incredible after that, mice have a rather unpleasant habit, a bit like dogs at times. They are I've been trying to practice this word, coprophagic. Yeah, they like to eat poo, basically. And as a result, the obese mice were eating the slim mice's poo, and they became slim as well. And that's pretty amazing. So if only weight loss was as easy as that. And the reality is that it's kind of on the horizon. We already have poop pills, which are human fetal pills, but they're currently being used to treat severe cases of C. diff. C. diff is a bacteria that can infect the bowel and cause diarrhea. And in some cases, when the infection is severe, it can actually be fatal. Such infections, the C. diff and the diarrhea, can sometimes occur after treatments with antibiotics, and we'll talk a little bit about antibiotics in a little while. However, the study does reveal that the health of your microbiome affects weight and so much more. So as the father of modern medicine, Hippocrates once said, all disease begins in the gut. And goodness, he was really onto something. So over the last couple of decades or more, there has been more research and studies are being done on the microbiome, and a lot has been learned and continues to be learned about the importance of microbiome, and in particular gut health. So this is an introduction to your microbiome. We are only 10% human, and that's a pretty massive statement. But having read the book 10% Human, it is just amazing. We are all so different, but we have our very own ecosystems of microorganisms, and you never need to feel alone again, because you have your own ecosystem with you all the time. As human beings, we are made up over 100 trillion cells, but we also contain 90 trillion, probably more, of bacteria, fungi, and microbes. But getting the right balance is really important. And most of the microbes in your intestine are found in a pocket of your large intestine called the sacrum, and they are referred to as the gut microbiome, which is the part of the microbiome which has been studied the most. Gut health has an impact on so much of the body, not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, hormonally. And this emerging science is still only at the tip of the iceberg. So the mix of microbiomes we host is unique to each individual as your fingertips. The question, there is a question there. What ratio of good to bad bacteria should we have? So I'm going to ask you just simply to put in whether it's A, B, C, or D. We need to have some good bacteria, obviously good bacteria, but we also need to have some bad bacteria. So what ratio do you think that should be? Just pop in the chat and let me know. I can move the mouse across. Aha. There it is. I can't see the chat, which is great. Okay, technology, isn't it wonderful? I think it's me being clever by Olu. Stop sharing the screen and okay, I can't actually see the chat, which is just rather annoying. So I'm hoping that some of you will have put in the answer C. It's 85 to 15. And that mixture should be as diverse as possible. The reality of this is that a lot of us do not have that balance. It is much more the other way. And when this imbalance is in place, it can lead to all sorts of health issues. So what are the signs that you might have a poor gut health? So yeah, one of the things also is about diversity. So we'll come on to why what the signs are. So whilst getting the balance right is important, also having the range of bacteria in your gut is ultimately going to be more beneficial to your overall health and your waistline. In fact, Tim Spector of the Zoe Project, he recommends eating approximately 30 different plant-based foods a week. At present, the Western diet is not high in fiber. In fact, most of us get less than 10%, not 10%, 15% of fiber from our diet, which is woefully inadequate. And this leads to sort of a lack of diversity in our gut, whereas really we should have a really nice, diverse gut. So what are the signs of poor gut health? Brain fog, poor memory, lack of concentration. Your immune system isn't so good, so you might be more susceptible to coughs and colds. You have bloating, indigestion, acid reflux, discomfort after eating, wind and gas. These are all signs that your gut isn't really working properly. Sugar cravings, it's partly your bad bacteria in your gut. There is a bacteria that actually craves sugar, and that sends messages to your brain to say, I want more, and inevitably that can lead to weight gain. It's also science showing that poor gut can also lead to low mood, anxiety, and depression. So what are the offenders that can cause these imbalances? Some of them you'll probably guess straight away, but we'll dive in straight away with aspirin and ibuprofen. These are medications that we all regularly take, and they can change the balance of your gut bacteria and encourage growth of bacteria that can cause inflammation and ulcers in the stomach and small intestine. Then there is antibiotics. Don't get me wrong, antibiotics are fantastic, but the trouble is they have a bit of a scattergun approach. Not only do they target the bacteria that is perhaps making you poorly, but they'll also target the other bacteria that actually you need to have in your gut to keep it healthy. And in some of the Scandinavian countries, they routinely will prescribe probiotics afterwards to boost your bacteria again after having antibiotics. Inevitably, stimulants such as alcohol and caffeine, there's no surprise there. Caffeine is actually a toxin in your gut, and it is genuinely not good for you in quantity. Sugar, as I've already mentioned, it is actually probably, there was a study done that showed that sugar is just as addictive, if not more addictive, than cocaine. And sugar is in just about everything we eat, even the foods that are supposed to be labeled as healthy or fitness. You know, that sugar is everywhere. It really is. Stress and tiredness can also have a detrimental effect. Lack of sleep is another one. You know, whilst you are sleeping, your body is repairing. So if you're not getting a good night's sleep, that can cause upsets to your gut balance. An obsession with overcleaning and antibacterial sprays and wipes. It's understandable over the last few months that we have been particularly obsessed with cleaning, but it really is not necessarily a good thing. A bit of dirt never hurt was the way I grew up. And certainly there's also been studies to show that children that grow up on farms are often much, much healthier and have stronger immune systems than those brought up in towns where things are all very clinical and kept very clean. And environment, that's not any surprise in today's world. You know, we're bombarded by all sorts of things, whether it's plastics, pollution, pesticides. You know, there are so many chemicals in so many of our products. Even the things that we use to fragrance our homes, some of those plugins are actually exuding chemicals that are really bad for our gut health and our microbiome. You know, painting, you know, when you paint a room, the chemicals in paint can also cause an upset to your microbiome. So I mentioned the gut-brain connection, that you can sometimes get those. What was I said now? I kind of lost my flow there. So we go on to the gut-brain connection. So the gut is actually lined with the same cells that you'd find in the brain. And the gut is known as the second brain, and it's known for that for a good reason. And if you clump those cells that are in the gut, those neurons that are in the gut, they're the same as the ones found in the brain, it would be about the size of a cat's brain, which is, pretty big. So what's the typical sort of feelings that you might get with that gut-brain connection? Well, I'm sure you've all had butterflies in your gut. You've got that gut instinct. Sometimes when you're very stressed, you might feel a bit nauseous. You can get that gut feeling. You get that gut feeling. So what is the brain connection? The gut is actually able to communicate with the brain via the vagus nerve. These two organs are connected both physically and biochemically in a number of different ways. It's actually a cranial nerve that extends from the brainstem to the abdomen via the heart, esophagus, and lungs, and it's known as the gut-brain axis. And 50% of the fibers in the vagus nerve carry information from the gut to the brain. So when you start to think about that, you can begin to understand how those feelings you sometimes get in your stomach, how they will affect your thought process and your decision making. Your gut and brain are connected through chemicals called neurotransmitters. And neurotransmitters produced in the brain control feelings and emotions. And an imbalance of those beneficial versus harmful bacteria is known as dysbiosis. And it's been linked to a number of psychiatric and neurological disorders. And I've listed those there: anxiety, depression, stress, and autism. And more studies are showing that there is actually a connection between your gut health and things like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And there are absolutely loads of books out there. You just go on Amazon or just Google it and put in gut health or microbiome books, and there are lots of them out there. I've read the 10% Human. I've almost finished the Clever Guts. They're just fascinating. I am just really fascinated by it. The Clever Guts diet is easy to read and provides a great insight on how the composition and diversity of our microbiome affects so much of our health. And there's also some recipes in there to give you sort of a bit of a kickstart. So hormones are created in the gut. Some of the processes that the bacteria do and the chemicals they release are also hormones. And according to this book by Julia Enders, over 90% of serotonin is produced in the gut. So when you think about that, the serotonin is your happy hormone. So if you've got a good gut, good gut balance is going to make you feel so much happier. And other hormones are produced by the gut as well. So we've got the GABA hormone, which relaxes and calms the nervous system. And as you can imagine, and it's dampened by stress. So that's a really good one to keep you just calm. And studies in laboratory mice have shown that certain probiotics can actually increase the production of GABA and reduce anxiety and depression-like behavior. So you can see that there's a real connection between the gut and your mental wellness as well. The gut also creates melatonin, which encourages good sleep. And obviously sleep is beneficial to us in that it allows us to repair. So how does this become my new passion? Well, about 7 months ago, the documentary Extinction by David Attenborough was out, and it really was, for me, a big eye-opener. And if you haven't watched it, I would absolutely recommend that you do. In that, he talked about the fact that, you know, a lot of the land is over-farmed. We use far too many pesticides. This has not only killed off insects and bugs, it's killed off the good bugs as well. And also the soil, because it's been so over-farmed, is no longer as nutritious as it once was. And as a result, the produce is not as nutritious. And so I began to question, actually, was my diet as good as I thought it was? I've always tried to make sure I buy good ingredients, but actually, am I buying the best that I could? And actually, is there more to this than I originally thought? Also, the produce, perhaps because it's not as nutritious, then maybe I needed to start thinking a little bit about taking something else. And then we had a webinar with John Burgess, who's on the call today, who's also in the fitness industry, and he introduced us to a different approach. It was about rebalancing and resetting our gut microbiome. And I've never thought of doing anything like this before, and I wasn't quite sure that it was necessarily going to make a big difference to me. So we embarked on it. Myself and Ian decided that we were going to do it because if we were going to promote this, we wanted to believe in it. And it's super easy to follow. It's just 21 days, it's just 3 weeks, and it's about eating clean. You get to track your process. So you start off with a benchmark, and then you just go through the 21 days. And then at the end of the 21 days, you take another benchmark and you compare. So there's accountability. The program can be done virtually. You can do it one-to-one. You can do it in groups. But basically, it starts with you. You have to experience it. But I recommended that you experience it. And the fact that you've experienced it, it gives you integrity, and you can start to promote it because people buy into people. So some of the benefits from doing the 21-day plan: more energy and vitality. You have fewer aches and pains, better sleep. That's definitely one that I have experienced, both the first time I did it and this time. The quality of sleep is much improved. You can lose pounds and inches. The first time I lost 7 pounds. I'm already I'm halfway through the plan again, and I'm up to about 7 or 8 pounds that I've lost. It just improves your recovery, improves exercise. It helps to reduce cravings, so that can be sugar cravings, caffeine cravings, alcohol cravings. It just helps with all those things. You tend to be more relaxed and more resilient. You seem to be able to cope with things. And because it's 21 days, and it's 21 days for a reason, because 21 days generally you create habits in that time scale. You can break habits and make new habits. So how could this work for you? You have an existing client base who trust you already, so they're already buying into you. Health matters more than ever now. You need to be thinking about being fit and healthy. So it's getting that combination right. It helps to build long-term relationships because, the 21 days is just the start of the journey. After that, depending on what results you get, you can go on to do other things. So you can create that long-term relationship. You offer another service alongside your existing business. There's retail profit and commission on those 21 days and beyond. I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you to John Burgess, who's going to talk a little bit more about his journey into the business side of things. So if I can unmute you, John, or if you are unmuted.
I've already unmuted myself, so I don't know if can you hear me okay, or can everybody hear me okay?
Okay, so how am I going to share on this? Do I need to come off sharing?
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah? Okay, John, do your bit.
Yes, Helen.
So come on, just how did you start, and how was the change? How has this changed as time has gone by for you?
Yeah, there's lots I can share. I'll try and kind of wrap it all up in about 5 minutes. But certainly, I want to say, just congratulations on putting this webinar together. I know it's new to you delivering webinars, and it's just exciting. You're passionate about the topic, and it's great you're sharing the message. You're someone who is walking your talk without doubt. And
Thank you.
I think that's just always a great integrity when that's happening. And actually, your knowledge on the microbiome, you have really taken it to heart, what you've learned. I know you've invested so much time in learning, courses you're doing, books you've been reading, and that's, just amazing. You've done such a great
thank you
and all that you've done, because you're sharing such an important message in such a great way. So congrats on that too. And I know you're getting great results. You haven't spoken about it too much yet, but you've helped quite a few people already turn their health around. And, it's such a powerful thing to do. So it's great to be collaborating with such a passionate person. And I know the fun that you and Ian as well, you're great fun to work with. I'm so glad to be collaborating with you guys, so yeah, thank you for inviting me to share a bit of my experience, really. And I wanted to share, I was making a few notes. What was it I want to share? And there's about five quick bullet points that I want to make sure I get across. And the number one is just the results this program gets are outstanding. My background is in health and fitness. I've worked in the industry for over 20 years now, nearly 25. And in all of my time, I've never seen any program transform people's health and life and results as much as I've seen this. 3 weeks, so much can change for people in 3 weeks. And I've been glad to take 363 people, not that I'm counting, through this program. And it blows me away, the difference it's making to people's lives. Their energy, everybody says they sleep better, they wake up more refreshed. I see people's bloating, they drop inches off their waist. As Helen mentioned, the weight, can come down from anything from 4 or 5 pounds, but I've seen certainly a good number of people drop over a stone if it's there to go. But it's so much more than that. People's mood improves. They feel more relaxed. They can cope with their day-to-day stresses. They feel better in themselves. Their skin starts to glow and they feel sharper in their thinking. They get more clarity and better concentration. So there's just, when Helen spoke about the gut-brain link, it's absolutely real and true. You can read all you like about it, and it's lots of evidence there. But when you see the difference in people or in yourself from this program, it's just, the stories are incredible. So, the benefits are there and the evidence is there because so many people have been through it, and they've got documented results and video testimonials from people sharing their experiences. So if you haven't watched some of those, I urge you to go. I mean, Helen will probably share some of the details later of how you can go and check out some of the videos she's done with people so far as well. But highly recommend taking the time to do that. Second thing, on the back of all of that, is just the extra income has been fantastic for my fitness related business. I like to keep a track on numbers and the maths on my business. And I know in the last 3.5 years, this business has brought in an additional 40K into my business, into my life and into my business. And I can tell you now, over the last year, when we've had various lockdowns, that's been absolutely invaluable to me being able to pay the bills for my family. And it's nice that I've had the flexibility to be able to continue running online nutrition programs. So now, you know, you might heard me say earlier, 363 people do the program. I just want to highlight it here that I've not spent £1 on online marketing as part of the systems that I and Helen are working with. That's just been done through the word of mouth and powerful testimonials and stories that people have shared. So, you know, it's absolutely possible for people to achieve, you know, a great additional income in this. And that for some people might be, you know, £500 a month extra. For some people, it might be £2,000-3,000 a month extra. Now, the third thing I want to put, and I'm just trying to read my notes here, yes, is that this business and this program can also bring new opportunities into your existing fitness or health related business. Why do I say that? Because whether it's fitness you're in, or whether it's chiropractic you're in, whatever business you're in on that front, people aren't always ready to jump straight into fitness. So people aren't feeling well enough. They want to, they've got intentions to, but they just don't have the energy and enthusiasm and motivation to do it. Why is that? Most of the time it's because people's diets are poor, their lifestyle's poor, and they're struggling with things from either headaches, tiredness, blood sugar level issues, hormonal issues, all sorts of other stuff going on in their life. When they find a solution to those other problems and they follow this nutrition program, once they're feeling better, they are often ready then to embark on fitness, chiropractic, other aspects. The reason I'm sharing this from is I've had people who I didn't know before hear about my online nutrition business, my face-to-face nutrition business with this program. And they've come knocking my door because their friends or family members have done it. They've done the program, they've felt great, and then I've worked with them with my other services, whether that's my one-to-one coaching or my online workplace workshops that I do. I've made new connections, which has fueled my other areas of my business. So bear that in mind. You know, if you want something else that's going to bring leads into your existing business, this can absolutely help. Fourth thing I wanted to mention was just how easy it is to slot this into your existing business. And I really, really mean that. It can sometimes for some people feel daunting. It's like this whole new project to create. The systems are done for you. Helen's got some amazing systems that she's working by and that are working for her. And it's all laid out step by step and bit by bit. So you don't need to think, I've got to invent something new. This is a whole new project that's going to take a lot of your time. It's literally, if you've already got an existing database of people you work with, or you know people, either way, this is something you can slot in very, very easily. The systems are done for you. So it saves you a lot of effort and time by following a successful system. And then the fifth thing, the final thing I want to share is just how amazing the support is. I know Helen really well. I've got to know her really well over this last year. I'm really glad to know her. And she is so enthusiastic and so committed to helping people, whether that be with their health or with business. I know you'll be in great, great hands if you decide to collaborate with Helen and Ian as well. I know Ian's in the background doing his stuff to support as well. There you go, big wave from Ian. And you're just in great hands from professional people who understand business, who understand health and fitness, and who actually deep down, they want to have fun and they've got integrity about what they do and they want to make a difference. And they're just great people to work with. So, and you'll get great support. So that's it from me. I don't know if I've been longer than you expected or not. I hope not, and feel free to ask me any more questions, Helen, if there's anything else you want me to share.
Brilliant, John. Thank you very much for that. Much appreciated. So let's just go on from there. Thank you very much. Okay. So from running on from that, and John's done a great overview of the actual business. So why am I presenting this opportunity today? I believe in the plan. Simple as, I've tried it and it works, and I believe in the products. They're good. They there are so many supplements out there, so many things that you can take that just you spend so much money. They may not cost a lot, but you end up spending so much money, but they actually don't do you any good. These products work. They are very, very good, and the company behind them is very good as well. And as John has said, I love seeing businesses grow. It's such a privilege, and watching people take a small idea and make it big. I really love that. And I would love to help more people get fitter and healthier as well, alongside Ian with his ethos of Fun Fit Fresh. And so you don't have to do it on your own either. This is all about collaboration and support. So we're offering that. So you just need to take the next step. So what is that? Want to do the program yourself? That'd be fantastic. Want to do the program, create an additional revenue stream, and promote the nutrition and well-being into your business? That would equally be great. And it's easy. Just contact me or the person that invited you to this webinar. It's as simple as that. So you can contact me through these methods. Either on helen@fcubefitness.com. We're on social media. Obviously, there's my phone number there as well. And just listen to your gut. What's your gut saying right at this moment in time? Just listen to your gut and follow that. Lastly, thank you for listening and coping with my technical challenges today. It's been an absolute pleasure in sharing my knowledge with you, and I hope you found it of interest, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I will be online for a little bit longer, so if you want to ask any questions, then please don't hesitate. I will stop the recording though, if I can get there.